our desires, which we bring to our professional life and our personal lives, which we call kama and krodha. Because of these desires, we get angry and we are into all these negative emotions. And she spoke about this purity, honesty, unselfishness, and love. And all these purity, honesty, unselfishness, love, are all because of our desires. And when we do not know how to handle our desires, then we are in trouble. And at that time, this little inner voice, which each one of us has got, will help us to show us a direction towards what actually is very important in order to make this world a compassionate place for all of us to live. And it has been said that if you go to a gym, your muscles get really trained. You start running, your stamina increases. Similarly, I'm sure if you follow this direction, which this tool which Vijayam has just now shared, which we follow at ETST, this PHUL and this connection, correction, and direction, I'm sure that if we practice it diligently day in and day out, without missing a single day, just like a meditation, if we practice this little time, you take away, have a journal with you, and write down how the day went for you. And I'm sure that we'll come up with our own solutions because we know who we are. And this direction cannot be given by a third person. It will have to be given by ourselves. So the self will have to give to the self. And what more power than this inner voice? So thank you, Vijayam, for this wonderful session on knowing your...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malti. So,
now,
shall I continue with, shall I invite Archana? Shall I introduce Archana and invite her to talk, Malti?
You want to invite her? Most welcome.
Yeah.
Most
so
welcome.
Yeah, if you are going to do, you please do it.
Okay. Dr. Archana Shukla, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
okay.
here.
Dr. Archana Shukla, it's a beautiful, how we came to know about you, Dr. Shukla, is we were having a core team meeting. And when we were having this meeting, you also know that Mr. Anil Swarup, he spoke about the wonderful things happening in remotest parts of India, which we living in cities are unaware of. And he shared, and as we were talking, Mr. Kiran Gandhi, he said, I know of a person who has done wonderful work in Satna. And who is that? It is Dr. Archana Shukla. She is a teacher in a government school and she has 13 years of experience. And she has attended ETST session. She has attended Initiatives of Change, but this is her first ETST session, she said. She teaches science. And the most wonderful thing is she is in a school which is called, category of this school is called School of Excellence. So we would love to hear what it is all about. And she is involved as a teacher. She is so intrinsically motivated that she is involved in a lot of voluntary social work. And we know how it is, the life of an educator, how difficult it is. But in spite of that, she is into a lot of social work, and we look forward to hearing about her social work and her work in her school, the School of Excellence. And her doctorate is in ornithology. She has done research in this area. And she says she loves to watch birds. That is her hobby. So I welcome you, Archana, into sharing your work with us. We look forward to hearing about your work in Satna.
Thank you, Malti ma'am. Namaskar. I'm Dr. Archana Shukla. and I'm from Satna, MP, Madhya Pradesh. Basically, I am a government teacher and I am teaching in Government Excellence School. This Excellence School is run in a district. So there is one Excellence School in a district, and this is the only school of government where you can teach in English. Otherwise, all schools are Hindi medium schools. So this is a school where we used to teach in English, and they get some extra benefits. So only the married students get a chance to come here. There is no fees. So all the economical poor background student can come to this school. So basically, the school in which I am teaching, most of the students, they belong to poor economical background. So ma'am, as I said that I am a government teacher. So during this lockdown period also, I was getting my salary and there was no deduction in my salary. But I always used to think what I am doing for the amount which I have been paid for. However, my students always used to call me. They used to talk to me. But I feel that I was not doing anything fruitful for them. When this lockdown period was announced, most of the private schools, they started with the online classes, even for the nursery and KG students. And I was dealing with the board class students. So I just thought that even I can do something like this. So one day during quiet time, I just got an idea that even I can start with the online classes. But as I mentioned, most of the students belong to very poor economical background. Their parents, either they are doing the labor work on daily wages or they are maids. So affording these online classes for them was a difficult task. But I knew this thing that last year only we made WhatsApp group of these students. So we used to interact with them on these WhatsApp groups. But next problem with me was, because I'm a government teacher, so next problem was authority to ask for it. So next problem was taking permission from the higher authority to convince them. So I just talked to my principal and higher authorities about it and requested them to give me the permission for it. They were very happy to hear it and they gave me the permission for it. So I announced Zoom online classes on the WhatsApp groups of the students with some basic guidelines for them. But till now, even I was not knowing how to deal with Zoom. So I tried to contact one of the IFC persons and sorted out this technical problem. He helped me a lot. And luckily, he gave me time. Even I gave a demonstration a night before when I was supposed to start with the online classes. Then another problem was because I had to deal with biology subject. And in biology, you need to draw lots of diagrams. But during this lockdown period, you cannot manage a board or marker from outside. So I asked one of the Panditji who used to live here in a temple to please give me the notice board. So I managed the notice board from there, a whiteboard and a marker. So I bought it. And next morning, I started with the classes. When I started with the classes, there were very few students. But now, in my classes, there used to be about 50, 60 students in single session daily. So these students, they managed, they come for the classes. Another problem was, these students, where they are living, sometimes it is a single room, and many people used to live together. So sitting silently and listening to the classes was a difficult task for them. So I thought of starting the classes early in the morning so that they can sit on the terrace also. So I used to take my classes in the morning. Sometimes they used to sit on the terrace, sometimes below the stairs, sometimes in the storerooms even. So they used to sit, they used to listen to me, they used to draw the diagrams which I used to draw. They make the diagrams, they make the notes, and they used to send it to me on WhatsApp and ask if it is okay or not. So they really used to make the diagrams. But I know that some problem can be created by other people who don't want me to continue with this. So I always make sure that I should inform the authorities every time. So every time when I have to take the classes, I used to send the link to the authorities also, so that the backbiters don't get a chance to spoil it. Every time I used to inform the authorities. Sometimes even mom, they used to peep in the screen and check what their child are doing, because it's a new experience for them also. Sometimes even parents used to sit for the classes, they listen to it. So one day when I was explaining why we should not go in the gardens or under the tree during the night time, one of the father, he was sitting and he was actually listening to my explanation for it. And when I gave the explanation, after my explanation, he was shouting and he was saying, "Thank you, Madam Ji, even I was not knowing." So it was such a like amazing feeling, no, that you are actually doing something for the amount you have been paid for. And another thing, these students, they learn things very fast, more faster than us. So they learn how to share their screen. Even I took the test, and with so much honesty, they gave the test. They sent me the marks that this much I got and all this. So we are dealing with this, and I am happy. My children are happy with this. One more thing I would like to share. One of my students, he is in 12th class. He failed last year in 12th class. He was not able to cope up with physics and chemistry, so he failed. But the thing was, it was difficult for his parents to share this with the relatives. So they hadn't told it to anyone, they hid it, and anyhow, they were just passing this 1 year so that he can give the exam next year. But this year, suddenly the lockdown was announced in between the paper. So now this child was badly tensed and disappointed because he was waiting that he'll pass this year and will not tell it to anyone. But suddenly, I talked to him one day, he was badly disappointed because of this lockdown. And he was not able to think what I should do. I remember that he was interested in biology, which is my subject. So I told him, you just start searching about interesting facts about COVID-19, virus, immunology, vaccination. You just start finding interesting facts about it on net. So I started with it. And to my surprise, one day I saw his YouTube video. So he was actually searching it, making the YouTube videos and sharing it. And they were actually very interesting. Nowadays, this child is very happy. He is very energetic and he is dealing with these things. So he is searching the things related to biology and making the YouTube videos and sharing it in a very simple language, which other students of his age can understand. So I am happy that I am his teacher. As I'm a biology teacher, I have to deal with subjects like topic like reproduction. Whenever I used to teach this topic in my class, even in 10th class or in 12th class, I talk about menstruation cycles, then sanitary pads, hygienic condition in my class. If it is in the syllabus or if it is not in the syllabus, even then I would like to share it in my 10th class students. So whenever I used to talk about this, it's not an easy task to talk about these things in our areas, the area to which we belong. Because talking about these things in presence of when both boys and girls are sitting, sometimes I used to take classes of menstruation cycle only for boys. So it's like it's not being supported by everyone, but I used to do this. So I used to discuss these hygienic condition, how to maintain hygienic condition, why you should use a sanitary pad in spite of a cloth. Because even now there are a large amount of girls who are using these clothes in our areas. So I used to discuss it. During this lockdown period, one day I got a call from my maid, and she asked me, do you have extra sanitary pads with you? So I was little shocked, and I just thought, why is she asking for sanitary pads? So I said, I always used to admire her. She is very sincere, and the way she used to do the households, I can never do. So she is very sincere and honest. So she asked me if you can give me the sanitary pads. So I told her, okay, you can take it from me. But I asked, why are you asking for sanitary pads? So she said, when in this economical crisis, we are starving for the basic bread and butter, when we cannot manage even this food, how can I don't have guts to ask my husband money for these sanitary pads. So next morning when I took the quiet time, I was actually thinking, suppose if I need a sanitary pad and I don't get it on time, then what will be my mental condition? How I will deal with it? So I just thought about these maids, these slum area teenage girls, the girls who belong to my school even, how they must be coping up with this. Because asking money for sanitary pads during this time when even 10 rupees is important for them is actually difficult. So I just realized during the quiet time, I just realized the mental and physical trauma they must be going through. So I decided of distributing sanitary pads in the slum areas. I just thought of initiating it. And when I got up, I started searching for the brokers who can provide me this on net. but it was difficult to contact them. So I contacted one of the shopkeeper, a local shopkeeper in our area, and he provided me a carton full of sanitary pads. Now the next target was, because this is a lockdown period, you cannot just go and gather people around and distribute it. You need to take permission from the authorities. So I contacted one of the happiness volunteer and told him about this and asked him to help me. He was very nice and he helped me. He took the permission from all the government authorities and we decided to distribute it. We went to those slum areas, to those made residential areas, and we tried to distribute it. But the next thing was, but the most difficult thing that time was, how should I tell them what I'm doing? So, because first of all, we have to take care of the social distancing. So we took care of the social distancing thing. And then I was supposed to tell them what I am there for. But the problem was, I should tell them this thing either in Hindi or in that local language. So using the terms like menses and all in Hindi or in local term was again a difficult task for me. However, we requested that only the ladies and girls should come, but even the gents crowd and everyone was there. And I'm telling you that talking about this topic in our areas, the area to which we belong, is actually very difficult. So talking to them about the importance of sanitary pads, why they should not use these clothes, and why I'm talking about these sanitary pads during this lockdown. The reason is, now even men are around every time. So these ladies, they cannot put those clothes out in the sunlight. So either they have to use it wet or semi-wet condition. So it's difficult for them to maintain it. Another thing is, they cannot ask money for sanitary pads, which they were able to manage otherwise by their own earnings also. So that's why I decided to distribute it. So finally, we talked about it, maintaining the social distance, we distributed the pads, and it was a good day all around. So I came back with the happiness that I was happy. But the actual problem was even now waiting for me. Next day, this news was there in the newspaper. And as the people saw the news in the newspaper, I got many negative comments from the gents colleague in my school. So they were saying that, ma'am, what are you doing? You should distribute food, sanitizer, or mask. Why are you distributing this? They cannot say even what. They were like, why are you distributing this? So I just said in one line, because you cannot distribute this, that's why I'm distributing this. You can distribute food, sanitizer, and mask, but you cannot distribute this. One of the comment I got, like, lockdown is not a lady's problem. I said, yes, it is a lady's problem too. So but in the end, even some of my neighbors, they were not, like, they were avoiding eye contact with me, if I have done something actually wrong or a sin. Even I was scolded by my family also, because I distributed this in front of other gents, or I talked to about this when the gents were around. I took the help of the gents, and because of all these things. So finally, somewhere it was hurting me that was I wrong? Had I did something wrong? So I took the quiet time next day. And the answer was, I just listened to my inner voice. And the answer was, you should be proud of yourself. And this gave me so much strength that now I don't bother what people are saying. I just do. I just listen to my inner voice. It gives me strength. And that I have learned when I went to IFC in September for the training session. There I learned to take quiet time. There I learned to listen to my inner voice. And that gives me strength. I am more confident. I am better me today just because I am able to listen to it. So that gives me strength. I would like to thank Kiran Gandhi sir. I would like to thank Leena ma'am, Khan sir, Mukherjee sir, Nitesh sir. They are always there. Whenever I want to share something, whenever I want to discuss something, these IFC people, they are always ready to listen to you. And they taught me this. That was a turning point in my life. From the core of my heart, I would like to thank them all. I would like to share some of the pics of the work which I have done. So let me see if I can do that. I have taken some of the pics, like, I hope I am visible. The screen is visible.
Yes.
Yeah, Archana, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the board I used to do, like use and then draw the diagram. My students, they used to draw the diagram. And even, okay, so every time you have to go back and, so I can show that some of the students, they are actually sitting in the storerooms and listening to me, but they used to manage to come to my classes.
Beautiful.
And during the lockdown period, because we have to maintain social distance also, even the police authorities, they helped us. So these police authorities were there when we were doing this, and we took care of the social distancing things also. And those gents who cannot talk about sanitary pads, they were actually holding it in their hands and like distributing it with me. And even now I can hear the whispering of those teenage girls and ladies, no? It sounds in my ear, it rings in my ear that thank you, Dee. So that gives me happiness. That's the real strength. When they come silently to you and your ears, they used to say thank you, because they cannot ask for. You can see here. They used to take this ghungat, no? So they cannot talk about it. They cannot ask about it at home. So this is what I want to share with you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Lovely, Archana. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful, Archana. It takes a lot of courage, Archana, and we can see this courage with which you have worked. And it is said that courage is the power to let go of the familiar. So in spite of all the people telling you not to do this and that, and how you went forward and you helped your students, and not only the students, but you also helped the people who needed help. And this is distributing the sanitary pads, napkins is something which everybody does not think. And you have thought about it, and everybody thinks about food and shelter, but taking into consideration the woman's needs, I'm sure that everybody must have felt really very, very happy.
Yes, yes.
God bless you. Lovely. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
It shows the passion. When a teacher is very conscious and passionate about her role, what beautiful things can we create? How many lives can we touch? So this is the beginning of a compassionate world which we are talking about. Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah, we
much.
have capacity.
Yeah. So, Malti, may I
Yes,
take
Arun,
it from
please.
here? Okay. So,
Yes.
Archana,
Yeah.
thank you so much once again for an extremely inspiring sharing, really touching. And I think the key is to listen to guidance, because like you showed 2 or 3 times, if you listen to guidance, as Vijayam also shared with us, you get creative thoughts. You get very, very creative thoughts. You're literally put into a very creative zone. And with so much darkness around, so many sufferings and miseries, when we listen to the inner voice, we get guidance on what is the small action we have to take, which will create ripples of impact, as you did with the online teaching, as you did with sanitary pads. And friends, everyone in this conference, this is the real magic of listening to the voice of silence, listening to the voice of love, because that is a candle that creates ripples of light and Roshni and positive impact in the world. So I'm going to share a favorite MRA song, a favorite Asia Plateau song with all of you, and then we'll be silent, and then we will go into the breakout rooms for a little chat before we listen to Mr. Vishal Talreja. Okay, so just hold on. I'm going to share my screen and get you to hear a favorite Initiatives of Change song, which is called It's Better to Light a Candle Than to Curse the Darkness. So here goes. Okay, let me just hang on 1 second, sorry. I'm also learning, so I'm just going to check if one particular setting is on or not. Just give me a moment. Share computer sound, optimize screen for video clip, and here we go. Select the right one, and here off we go. Yes.
How many times I've backed away, so often afraid, told others I'd be counted on and left them all betrayed. I said there's nothing I can do in a world that's turned so sour, where the hope of freedom is fading by the hour. But it's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. Better to let its bright light show where you stand, for its glow will melt the dark night like the coming of a new dawn, and hope will be born from that small flame in your hand. There are many echoes in the world, but few voices, many roads for us to take, but few make choices. Will we always wait till it seems too late and things seem all but lost? Afraid to leave the shadows, afraid to face the cost. It's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. Better to let its bright light show where you stand. For its glow will melt the dark night like the coming of a new dawn, and hope will be born from that small flame in your hand. But if you stand up and leave your fears behind, leave your fears behind, show the light for all those who are blind. It was spread from man to man, a light that cannot be ignored, for the spirit of man.
Spirit of man.
Lord. It's better to light one candle than to cast the darkness. Better to let its bright light show where you stand. For its glow will melt the dark night like the coming of a new dawn, and hope will be born from that small flame in your hand.
So
Arun, one of the singers, is amongst us as a participant on this chat
amazing.
and conference.
Who is that?
To introduce yourself.
Yes, please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
I am
Excellent.
so happy to see myself in the video.
Okay, very good, very
But we
good.
can't see you.
Delighted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you just show us where you are, and just raise your hand so that we know where you are? Okay, just
I'm
wave.
here.
Excellent, excellent. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay, superb. So thank you very much. Once again, thank you, Vijayam, and thank you, Dr. Archana. Really, really inspiring. Let us just take another moment of quiet, because what we're going to do now is really look at what are the opportunities for us as educators to really light that little candle to make a difference, as we heard from Vijayam, as we heard from Archana. So I'm going to this time again invite you to be silent for 2 minutes. And after that, we are going to break out into groups to look at a question on opportunity. And just before we go into the silence, I just want to share my screen once more. And I will, for that, stop